to the questions again that you guys may have when you before you open up a food truck business. And I left off on the first, as far as the first part, I left off. Let me fix that. I left off right at what POS system works best for food trucks. So we've answered one. I actually answered Square. Square is a good POS system. The I voted in the fees and stuff. Sometimes you say to yourself, to pass it on to the customer way where if the person wants to swipe a card, you set the system to that percentage, and you always let them know, hey man, if you use a card, there's a fee, and people know that. But people even have an issue when you sell something out of the food truck and you charge them sales tax. Yeah. In the state of Florida, you can sell fruit juice as long as it's natural juice. You don't tax natural juice. So what happens if I sell lemonade with an order of chicken tenders? That gets confusing, right? And that person is paying on a card. If you are a big scale business, you want to avoid this. If you're selling fruit juice, which is not taxed in the state of Florida, and then you're selling a hot meal, which is taxed, if you sell them together, that whole amount would be taxed. What I do basically, you sell the drink separate. But if the person is paying by card, it's like an impossible task. I don't know, man. All right, let's move on from the POS. Food trucks keep food hot or cold? That's a no-brainer. I would rephrase that question on how do food trucks keep hot foods safe or cold foods safe? I mean, hot or cold. I mean, if you make sandwiches, you can put them in a cold anything, a fridge or a cold table. Hot food, you keep it on the stove. You know, you just got to know your temperatures. Which this question can take you back to the serve safe. You got to know where to and where not to. If you're done cooking chili, it's on the stove and the stove is on low. Hey, that's fine. If you're done making an egg salad, it's in the fridge. That's okay. I mean, you don't have to sit there with a thermometer and keep shooting at the thing unless it's left out for a while. I think 4 hours is your maximum for salad. And then hot food, you always keep that warm anyway. So, uh, what happens if equipment breaks during service? Equipment breaks during service. That's all I can tell you. Daniel Cormier, that's a fighting brother there, man. Jesus Christ. I couldn't get hit that. Oh, God. I can't get hit that much. I couldn't take it. I'd go crazy. Thank you. Well, that's a compliment, man. Thank you. Daniel Cormier. I walked to an attorney's office one time. The guy swore I was Daniel Cormier. I was able to, for that moment, and get good service. Yeah, I looked at the guy. I actually got in contact with him, and he says, "Sir, you're more handsome than I." I was younger then, but it was like, "Hey, man, we had a little thing on Twitter. Who was more handsome, right?" Yeah, he answered. He responded. I got older, man. I probably look like Roland Martin now. No, it's okay, man. It's all right. Back to that was the question. How do I prep food efficiently? No. What happens if equipment breaks down during service? Guys, if you got a food truck and you're buying used equipment, I don't know what to tell you. Certain things you can buy used if you can afford a brand new one. Try to get name brand stuff. I got an American Standard stove. I don't like it. These stoves, you light them from the bottom. Sometimes when you cook in these stoves, the grease and everything rest and go on the bottom, place through a hole that you can't get to. So what I did, I took the plate out of the stove and cleaned it and everything. But I'm not the kind of guy that likes to stick a lighter inside of a hole to light a stove. I stopped using the oven completely, and then next thing you know, I had a gas leak. So American Standard, I'm not gonna knock that brand. I mean, who knows? It just might be made overseas. So another thing, do not buy gas equipment. Don't buy gas refrigerators, gas operated this and that and the other. So stick with electric. I got a guy actually who purchased a food truck here, and he everything is gas. I'm gonna save on electricity. Okay. So he was probably going through like 2 tanks of gas every 3 days or so, right? That's not wise. That would be something for the Caribbean. If you we do a food truck and you wanted to send it out to the Caribbean, you get these gas refrigerators and freezers and things like that, or the ones they have on the RVs that are like integrated. Yeah, that's an option. But here, no, I wouldn't. If an equipment breaks down in the middle of operation, that's that question. Well, which equipment? A deep fryer goes bad, you should have two deep fryers, or you should have a backup deep fryer every. I mean, a small one and the big one. If a fridge goes bad, you could do without it. Stove stops working, more than likely you ran out of gas. That's why you got to have 2 tanks of gas. One tank of gas runs out, you switch over to the other. Make sure you close the first one. Soon as you get a chance to leave with the truck, you go and fill up again. So you're always going to have 2 full tanks of gas. I've seen guys, well, I'm gonna run this tank out, but this one is empty. Well, I'm a no, well, I have time. And then you know what? If there's 2 people running the truck, they forget. Oh, I thought you did it. No, wait a minute. I thought you wrote it down. No, you got 2 tanks of gas. One tank is empty. Switch over to the other, and then the next chance you get to leave with that truck, go fill that empty tank. So that way you got a good balance. Um, Juice loves you, buddy. Okay, well, that's fine. Thank you. Thumbs up, guys. Give me some, guys. Truck that you be trapped in and then got nowhere to park it, you end up giving it away. No. Listen to these answers, and that's why you got to have a small menu. You're gonna do chili dogs, just do chili dogs. You're gonna do burrito tacos, make sure you just do burrito tacos. Don't think that you're gonna have 10, 15 things on the menu. You're gonna get yourself okay, burger, chili dog. It. So Gatorade or fish in a small space. That was the question. That's why they have commissaries. Can you afford the commissary? Hell no. You can't afford it. If you're doing good, if you're doing good, you can go to the commissary and cook. Like if you do pastries, the commissary is perfect. You know what I mean? But if you cook rice and chicken, you don't need to go to no commissary, please. You know what I mean? That's why there's an option of getting a self sufficient food truck, which makes that difference. By the way, a lot of inspectors don't even know that a self sufficient food truck, you actually can cook inside of it. Next question: what size truck should I buy? Unless you're experienced, I would start out with a 16-foot trailer, or I would start out with something like a Sprinter van. You ever seen those Kona Ice type of trucks? I would start out with something like that because when you get big, you buy a dually, for instance, the insurance is twice as high. I would start out with something like a small van. The Chinese, they make them pretty, man. I think out in Mexico too, you can go out and buy one instead of going out to getting a big old US truck and then getting that converted. That's just too much work. You can buy one brand new, made, generator and all, man. Pretty. Okay. All right, let's go to food questions. Food questions as far as the food menu. What food makes the most profit? That's a question for you guys. I don't know. What food makes the most profit? My experience is grilled cheese. You wouldn't believe this. Seriously. A grilled cheese sandwich with like three cheese, pepper jack, sharp cheddar, mozzarella for the string, and on a nice thick sliced bread. You got these the pack the sliced breads that are that thick, right? You can pack that thing, man, and then a grilled cheese sandwich right now, $5 6 with a drink. People be happy. Got to keep it down, man. People can't afford it. I mean, unless you go to the mall and then be like, well, I'm gonna buy a $15 sandwich. Let me give you something else that makes money. You got to know how to make bourbon chicken. But not the bourbon chicken that you know. The bourbon chicken, sort of like half and half. They get used to. They sell it at the mall with rice. It's some people call it teriyaki. Some say bourbon, but teriyaki is a flavor. The one actually you do buy the bourbon and you soak it in the bourbon and then you use the five spice, soy sauce, ginger. What's the other one? Hoisin sauce. That makes a lot of money. And then, of course, boneless chicken breast, right? That makes money. Among other things, hamburgers make money. A nice soaked buffalo chicken wing sells a lot. Those things do sell. Chicken tenders make a lot of money. Um, you just pretty much have to say you got to pick you got to pick your poison, man, with this stuff. You know what I mean? So it does. I mean, there's so many things that the tacos make money. Yeah, tacos make a lot of money. You got different types of tacos. Like for instance, if you wanted to do a soft taco like Taco Bell does, which is some for some reason I give me just 1 minute. Tacos make a lot of money. It depends on where you're at. The worst thing you can do with a food truck is to be among the worst thing to me. My worst experience in the food truck business is having a food truck and then you be around 10 other trucks. You know what I mean? As soon as you show up, oh my God, oh my God, oh, here we go. We're not going to make money now. That's the attitude that I always get. They call it Big Daddy. Oh, here comes the beast. Oh, we ain't going to make money now. You know something else that makes money? If you can put together like catfish, but I don't like catfish. I don't like tilapia. There's something called swai, the swai cod. You can do like a mix with corn flour, and you season it like say lemon pepper seasoning, or you can do like a like an Old Bay seasoning, pepper, black pepper, and all that, and then that's a seller. That's a fish fry. Sell that with hush puppies. I mean, it all depends on what it is that your forte is, what you're more comfortable at. So I can give you some more. I mean, a good potato salad makes money. If you do soul food, you already know soul food is greens, chicken wings, you know, the cornbread, the peach cobbler, you know, whipped cream, boom. You might be the type of person that could do ice cream. You could do, you know, sweets, fruits. There's so much to do, man, in the food in the food business. You just need a good spot. I seen a kid had a did pretzels. They did pretzels, and they go around selling pretzels and stuff like that. You know, churros. You can do that. You can do a lot of that stuff and make money. And there's no I can't tell you. You just have to know what you like to do and what you're comfortable of doing. And you might like to do wings. I mean, chicken wings is funny to me. Frying chicken is funny because you might find yourself frying the chicken and the chicken wasn't thawed properly. Next thing you know, the marrow burst out of the bone. Now you got a black spot on the chicken, right? So it takes a little science to understand how to fry chicken. I'm just telling you from experience, okay? You want to start out with something easy? That depends on what nationality, man. To me, it depends on where you're from. Just say you're from Trinidad, right? And you know how to cook Trinidadian food, and you wanted to do rotis, you wanted to do chicken roti, lobster roti, even beef roti, whichever roti, shrimp. That is your forte. You don't find a roti truck. That is a no-no. You just don't find a roti truck. Most of the skin you can buy. Just say you're from a person who's from the Middle East. You're from those countries that make shawarma. They countries that make Middle Eastern food. Like Iranian food is delicious, bro. You know what I mean? You could find a spot in that Mediterranean food. So it's like don't copy Jose, don't copy James. Copy your own self, and then people eat, just find the right spot. Eventually you finding the right spot, you would start making money. Of course, everything has a beginning. Okay, guys. So let's go to the next question. Um, what is the easiest food truck menu to run? Like I said, the one you like. Okay, you can squeeze like green lime and add a little almond twist to it. Man, look. Oh my God. You sell that with a meal. What's the easiest thing to make? The easiest thing to make to me is a soft taco. You know what I mean? You learn how to wrap. You could sell a soft taco and a drink. You can do chicken tenders. That's going to take a little bit. When you fry chicken tenders, you got to understand if you're frying from frozen, you got to fry and then let it thaw and then fry again. Fry until it's golden, let it thaw, and then fry again when it's ready to serve. You can just stick that in the warmer. You can go out and buy beef patties and sell beef patties, man. You can put Jamaican beef patties in your thing. You could do empanadas. That takes a lot. That takes the easiest thing to me is whatever it is you can buy that is already prepped. I hope that answers that question. How many menu items should I have? As minimal as possible. Should I specialize in one food? Of course. Special. Be known for that fried Twinkie, man. Yeah, be known for that fried Twinkie. It's like this guy does fried Twinkies. I'm just using that as a, you know, um, what food trends are popular right now? You got to look. That is a good question. Um, I don't think the average customer wakes up in the morning and says, "Well, I'm going to go look up what's trending on Google and I'm going to go buy that." But um, I remember not too long ago the Barbie cake was trending. Oh my God, Barbie cake, Barbie cake, Barbie cake. If you're into that, look up on Google what's trending. There is a website that tells you what's trending on any subject: football team, food. You can do that. Eventually, I can get this channel back up, where I want it and stuff like that, and then I can build a studio and do this in a much more higher professional scale. But trend, yeah, that's a good one. Next question would be, how do I price my menu? Unless you're the type of guy that understands the price of purchase, gain, lost, and stuff like that. You price your menu. Okay, let me give you an example. I actually sat there a few times and counted how many chicken wings in a box. I have done that. Okay. There's about 120 to about 104. No, well, more or less 120, 130 chicken wings in a box. So if you do the math, you say you're going to sell four chicken wings at $6. You just got to divide or multiply what you how the amount that's in the box and divide it by what you sell. And then at that point, you're going to notice, okay, you paid $120 for the box of chicken wings, which I'm pretty sure right now, some jumbo wings, somewhere up there. You got to know how much you bought, how much you sold, how much you sell for. Basically, me, sometimes I would go to a Chinese restaurant, or I would look up a menu and kind of compare their prices. And then I'll be like, okay, Burger King sells a burger for $10. I'm going to do mine for $7 in a soda, stuff like that. That's how you compare. Depending on the area, some areas have a better customer base than others. Avoid buying cheap foods. It's an issue. People know the difference when you buy cheap, cheap vodka or Grey Goose or whatever it is. This is filtered different. Okay, let me move on to the bottom of the questions. And what time is it? I'm within 24:28. What foods sell best at festivals? Anything sweet at a festival sell. Funnel cake. What is the corn dog? Uh, roast corn. Shish kebabs. You could do a shish kebab. The same thing I told you with the if you were watching the video, you can use boneless chicken thighs, and you do a bourbon, you soak it in bourbon, and you marinate it overnight in the five spice and all that. You could do shish kebabs. You put them in a stick, meat, pepper, and you sit there, and then you put them in a like a shish kebab on the grill. Those will sell. I mean, it's like no real labor to it. Um, Ice cream at a festival, sweets. If you go to a festival, with your truck, and then you look around, and before you start, man, start looking around. The last time I went to the fair in Central Florida, which actually I had a truck near there, it was like a $20 burger, wings, four wings, $16. I'm like, okay, walk around, look at these prices, and then just bring your prices down. A lot of these food trucks at these festivals, they're state funded. You know that, right? Okay. All right. Next question. What are the best Haitian food truck ideas? Okay. How to reduce waste. How to reduce waste. You really have no waste in a food truck besides, a garbage can outside and one inside for your own personal use. And the outside is just people just dumping plates, napkins, and cups and cans. That's all it is. There's no real waste. Type of Haitian foods. I noticed the Haitian food, the plantains and the griots. Really, that is a trend. That is a high, a valued staple in the Haitian community with the griot and the rice, the black rice, and the fried plantains, little salad. That's delicious. Me personally, the tasso is grilled, actually grilled goat, and then you make a nice little tomato, basil, onion sauce right there, like a like a like a not enchilada, like a what's the sauce they eat with the gosh, I'm losing it. The with the tacos, like a nice cold salad with onions and stuff like that, and then like a nice dip. I'll come up. I'll remember the name. I'll come up with it. Okay, reduced waste. There's really no waste in the food truck. Okay, what are the best? Okay, got that. Should I offer catering service? Of course you can. You can offer catering service. Well, matter of fact, if you have a food truck and you have a company who says, "Well, I need for you to cater to me," all you got to do, if you do have a commissary, you can rent the space, and depending on how large the order is, you can go into the commissary, pay those guys, and then get the cooking. Just bring your whatever. They'll provide everything from storage, stoves, anything. So that way you don't have to even do anything in the truck, especially if you don't have the space. But catering, my opinion, catering it's not your everyday thing. Um, I wouldn't depend on it unless that you got some kind of a niche. But it's either you're in the food truck or you're in the commissary. I know a lot of guys who just do commissary. They don't even have a food truck. They rent a van and then they cook at the commissary and deliver, on these little these cocktail things, those these warmers and stuff, right? Yeah, you can offer catering service. Your license, if you do have a license, that covers that. You could even sell alcohol if you do offer catering service. There's another application for that, and once you apply for it, they'll approve it. You just got to keep a log of of the events that you do. Okay, so let's go to marketing and customer questions. How do I market? How do food trucks attract customers? Location, man. Location. There's a gazillion of them on TikTok, and you just gotta start winning hearts and minds at that location. Once people get to know you, you give them a card, word of mouth, keep it clean, and then eventually you can build your media, your social media. You can get yourself an app built, and your food is your cleanly. People look at your nails. They look at cleanliness. Once they get to trust you, that's it. That's all it takes. Make sure you keep the same recipe, stay in that same spot. They get to know you, and that's all she wrote. Of course, you could do your Facebook. Facebook is going to take more of your time. Facebook is going to take time away from work. TikTok, you can do a video and throw it on TikTok. That's fine. But professionally, if you're doing social media, you can't be in that food truck at the same time. Either you hire someone or a very good website is Yelp. You just got to pay the piper. They'll put you out there, and that's all you pretty much need is Yelp. Okay, because these guys have a what they do is they build 10,000 websites and that propagates your stuff all over Google and Bing and the rest of these Yandex and these search engines. Is social media necessary for success? I just explained it. How important is TikTok? Same thing. How do I get booked on events? Well, booked on events, there's a website called Roaming Hunger. I never understood how they actually work, but they are one website that you might want to sign up with. It's called Roaming Hunger. And then they'll book events. You just go to the events, and then whatever the share is, you get a share of it. How do food trucks get clients? The same thing, word of mouth. Your choice of social media. Best food truck marketing strategies. Same thing. Use Yelp. Should I use Uber Eats or DoorDash? Uber Eats or DoorDash? You got to remember these sites take 30%. So if you're gonna cook something that say that you're gonna sell for $20, Uber picks it up. That $20 is gonna cost you $6. So that means you'd be left with $14 of all the work you've done. So me, if you want to do that, if you sell the food for 20, sell it for $26. You get it? Add another $6 to it. So be it. If they buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't. Add $5 to it. So that way you're not losing your profit. How do you build repeat customers? Repeat customers is the same thing. Word of mouth, keep them happy, keep yourself clean. Avoid drinking on the truck. A lot of guys, having a good time, they want to have a beer, a margarita. You can't perform in a hot truck if you're intoxicated, buddy. Trust me. How do I make my food truck brand stand out? Get a nice wrap. They're expensive, I know. A nice wrap, make it stand out. Buy some banners off of Amazon. Amazon banners. I print my own stuff. Like I said, if you guys need something printed, whatever it is, food menu, pictures, anything, let me know. Leave a comment, and then we can work it out. Um, do food trucks need websites? I don't think so. A food truck don't need a website. Anything that can keep you away from that truck is a problem. However, Square does offer you a website where someone could actually click on something on a link, and then they can pay you in Square. So they can do that for you. Okay. Because if you build a website, you're gonna like accept payments. You rather have Square do it because they're attached to it. All right. Is owning a food truck stressful? If you're stressed out, you're making money. Yeah. If you're stressed out, you're making money. So therefore, um, if you're not making money, give it time, or you might just be in the wrong location. So, what are the biggest mistakes beginners make? The biggest mistakes beginners make if you have a food trailer driving it. Sometimes when you're driving somewhere, you gotta strap the fridge. Next thing you know, you make a turn, everything is on the floor. That's the number one mistake people make when they drive a food trailer or a food truck. They're in a hurry. They got things in this and that and the other. They don't strap the cabinets. They don't strap anything. Sometimes I've seen guys leave with hot oil and oil be all over the floor, kind of mess, sodas everywhere. That's the number one mistake you make. Everything else is gonna probably trial and error. Okay. But leaving the gas on is a dangerous mistake. I've seen that too. Plenty of time. You're tired, you leave the gas on. Yeah. You're in a hurry, or somebody might come by and then they hit the button before you know it. You're traveling with raw gas in there. So it's always make sure that before you leave, when you leave, you always check the valves outside and shut it from the main. That's another fatal mistake. Among thousands of other mistakes you're going to make, it's going to take about a good year or 2 years to really understand and somewhat perfect that industry. And I guarantee you it's worth it. How many hours do food truck owners work? Well, I mean, if it's hot, you don't want to strain yourself because the food truck itself is hot. If you're out in cold country, take it easy and relax. You can work 12-hour shifts. You can do that. I would never suggest anyone to work 7 days in the food truck. That's just not healthy. No, it's not healthy. Well, come on, man. What do you mean if I'm gay? I'm a married man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not. This is not a gay thing. Come on, man. Don't do that. Now it's funny now. Anyway, it's only stressful. How many hours do food trucks? Okay, what are the is the food truck business oversaturated? If you bring yourself in that environment where it's oversaturated, it can be. Like you got food truck world. You got food truck world in Kissimmee, Florida, I think. You want to see saturated? Oh my God, it's like 1,000 of them. So you want to set yourself up for that? Go. Like I said, I don't like to have my food trucks around any other truck. I just don't for so many reasons, and it's not safe. I mean, you got guys with food trucks that just from place to place, they keep pumping, place to place, place to place. You got to take time to clean it, inspect it, and make sure it's right. That grease and stuff, if you don't clean it, it can catch a fire. I mean, it's not a game. Why do some food trucks fail? Probably because people that open up food trucks don't didn't answer these questions that I'm answering for you guys right now. They just saw somebody making money, they figured they can go do it. Another reason why food trucks fail is finding somewhere to park it. If you get into the one of the main reasons finding somewhere to park it. If you live in an apartment, you got to rent parking. Make sure you put the food in a safe place, food truck in a safe place so nobody breaks into it. That's one of the main reasons sometimes they fail. A food truck can make money if you try hard enough. You find different places and stuff. Eventually, you will find some place somewhere that can actually um, that will accept you and give you a spot. Now, gasoline. If you are on a generator, try to get somewhere you can plug in, man. If you are on a generator, man, you're gonna burn gas, and that's what is it now? Four something a gallon just for 87. Yeah, make it great again. So, is a food truck better than opening a restaurant? I would imagine so. The overhead is low. I would imagine so. I mean, the you're more crimped, you're more in a tighter space. But the average restaurant, you're talking if you wanted to rent one at some mall, at some shopping center, next thing you know, within a year or two, there's a guy that wants to do something else. And then the landlord is going to rent that guy right next to you, and that's going to crush your business. You know, their excuse is like, well, he doesn't sell the same thing you sell. No, he's a restaurant. The average deposit to rent a restaurant, I guess small town America would be around, you would need at least $10,000 to get started. First month, last month, security. And then they're going to want you to take insurance out on their property. Got to have insurance. So you'll be working your ass off probably for the first 2 years trying to make it. Next thing you know, you're making it. Now you got your customer, you got a customer flow, and guess what? The landlord is going to find another restaurant and rent right next to you. I wouldn't. Can one person run a food truck? Hey, one person, one menu, man. Do a Georgia sausage, do a smoked sausage, or you prep ahead of time. If you serve rice and beans, that's what it is. Person comes in, rice, sauce, chicken, peas, or whatever. Grab a soda, wrap it, go. I've seen a person run a food truck. I mean, a hot dog food truck, like pretzels and things like that. Ice cream. One person can actually run it. You know, what's confusing sometimes. If, say, for instance, a guy comes in, he says, "Well, can I get a hot dog?" And then you're like, "Okay," you ring up a hot dog. Can I get a soda with the hot dog? Then he's like, "Okay." You got grape soda, okay. And then suddenly the person he's with comes in and says, "Can I get a hot dog too?" And then it's like, okay, now you got two hot dogs, now two sodas, and then one of them changed their mind. Oh no, no, forget the hot dog. Let me get the sausage. That's the stuff right there that kind of that's confusing because the person they changed their mind, and it's like, oh, I thought the hot dog was beef. It's not beef. So you got to get ready for things like that. Now you got to go back in the computer or in your little POS system. You got to delete it, clear ticket, and stuff like that. I think if one person is running a truck, they should do like a cash thing. You know what I mean? 5, 10, 15, or keep it at $10. So that way you don't have to be like, well, 3.99, and you got to sit there and calculate, well, 3.99 out of 50. No, just do a $5 menu, a $10 menu. The person just hands you 20, you give them back 10. They hand you 10, you give them back 5. Just make it easier for yourself. Okay. Okay, let me go to the what are the hardest parts of the business? The hardest parts of the business is getting started, man, to be honest with you. Yeah, getting started is the hardest part of the business. Once you get started, you get over that hump. Hey, man, it's Thursday. And is winter slow for food trucks? I've seen food trucks in Canada, dude. I don't know. Wintertime, make hot chocolate, hot tea, make some natural cocoa, the one from the bean, make hot tea. People will eat. People eat in the wintertime. Shit, people eat ice cream in the wintertime, right? I don't think it's slow just because it's winter. Matter of fact, it's hot. It's really hot inside of a food truck. So that might be an advantage. All right, let's go to question 60, man. All right, is 2026 a good year to start a food truck business? I would say so. 2026 is probably going to be the best year to open up a food truck business because the economy is crashing. Restaurants are closing. Yesterday, I think I did a video on how many big chains that are closing. I think I came up with 50 of them. Yes, 50, including Wendy's, Red Baron, Pizza Hut. I didn't see McDonald's in there. Wendy's, Steak and Shit. Um, along that line, there's about 50 of them I came up with that actually filed bankruptcy in 2025, and right now are just floating, ready to close. Yes, it is a good year to open up a food truck. Okay, right now restaurants can't afford food. Can you imagine Red Lobsters? You go to Red Lobsters, they give you the little bread stuff, get you full before you could even get to the meal. Can you imagine that? The cost of the lobster, the cost of the shrimp and all that stuff. That stuff's expensive. So these restaurants can't make it. because they can't afford the food. You remember everything in America is outsourced from somewhere else. You know how we pretend, oh, greatest country in the world. China feeds us, Cambodia feeds us, Vietnam feeds us, Brazil feeds us. Every other country right now, Mexico feeds us, Guatemala feeds us. Go down to the Argentina and come on back up. Brazil, Chile, Honduras. Those people feed us. They feed us the tomatoes, the avocados, the lettuce, the greens, the provisions. Okay. So that stuff is expensive right now. So I don't know. I don't think these big restaurants will make it. I mean, I boiled an egg the other day and I left the egg in the fridge. The egg was that big. 2 days later, it's that big. So there we go. GMO. You know what I mean? Just get ready for that. That's the last question, guys. I'm going to close this thing. I'm at 47:21. I do have another topic, and I'm just going to get that together. And guys, like I said, in the meantime, subscribe, encourage the show, give me a thumbs up, let me know how you feel. If you got any other subjects that you feel like I should get into, any curiosity that you do have regarding the food truck business, from anything clerical, paperwork, fiscal, mechanical, refrigeration, HVAC, you just leave a comment, and then I'll see to it that I answer you. Till next time, guys. Chef John, Grab and Go Concessions.